Hello, my name is Natalya. I'm a footwear and accessories freelance designer and developer. I'm very interested in applying for this course because I have a little bit of experience in footwear, but most of my experience is in accessories, and I would like to have more knowledge and understanding so I can use my services for footwear projects more. And I'm very interested in sneakers because I have applied for one or two of your courses before. So let me show you my process. Now I'm going to take you through my inspiration, several designs which I've done, and that will lead you to my final one, and I'll explain why this is the final one that I decided to choose. Okay. Yeah. Now, this is my inspiration. Now, I'm somebody who is really into folk art, decorative elements, fairy tales, and this is a Chinese tissue paper designs, which is a very traditional art in China. And you use them sometimes on postcards, sometimes you use them as just, painting the wall. I really like it because of different, very stylized elements, like you have different clouds, you have lots of different colors. It's very bold, it's very funky, and it's really busy, and I really like that. So, one of the first ideas is this, which I thought I'm just gonna literally play with all these different colors, with all these different textures, make it really bold, make it really busy, make it very decorative. Now, as this is a material lab course, I feel like it's very important for me to explain and show lots of different materials, and I looked a lot at different materials at material Dutch website, where you have lots of different materials which are for use for interior, for for fashion. I looked at different inks which change different colors due to the light or heat or ultraviolet light. I looked at different sustainable elements, but then I thought it would be fun to try something that I'm not sure if it's even developed yet or not. So now, in this element, and this is one of the elements which I'd like to explore, is very traditional to a Chinese ceramics, and this is a craquelure effect. So you have a cracked effect, almost like a glass on the surface of another material. And I feel it wouldn't be nice to have something like this in a sole. So it has a lot of history behind it. It's quite it's quite traditional, but it can look quite fresh and modern in something like a sneaker. So this is just my first idea. And the next, I thought I'll explore the whole colors and boldness and business further into something a little bit more sporty and a little bit more masculine. So you have a little bit of a mirror effect here, and you have lots of different colors in the sole, and you have lots of different raised elements which kind of reference dynamic and lots of different textures. From there, I thought I'll explore different textures, dynamic into this, which has dynamic here, and you have elements of texture in embroidery here and here. Then you have again craquelure effect on the toe, which I think can look quite interesting because it's the front of the shoe, and when you walk you have a little bit of a glass and a cracked effect. And you have a slip-on element, which is going to be trendy for the next couple of seasons. From there, I thought I'll go further into the Chinese art, which is like a sock shoe. So this is literally like a sock, and you have again an element of movement, and again you have decorative elements like stone or rubber, which is quite dynamic, quite colorful, quite busy, very decorative, but a little bit too traditional, I feel. So I feel I need to push this further. This is one of the ideas which I thought going to be my final ones. Again, you have a craquelure effect on the sole, and you have embroidery. You have embroidery here, which is raised embroidery, and you have again a sock effect. So this feels like a second skin, and it's almost in a color like a skin, and you have a little bit of a color on the top, which is quite dynamic, quite decorative. But then I feel it's interesting, there's a lot going on, but it's quite decorative, so it needs to be simplified. And the design which I decided to settle on is this, which is very simple, and you literally have a boot which just has a little bit of elastic here. You have all of this in a crackler effect, so this underneath is like a mirror. And for this, I'm interested in using Giardini synthetic leather, which has a mirror effect, and I think it's quite interesting. Another thing, let me show you the label, Giardini synthetic leathers. The reason I quite like it is because it's sustainable. It is environmentally friendly, and it is an alternative to leather, so somebody who is vegan can be quite interested in this. But I feel it would be more interesting if, apart from just the crackler effect, the mirror effect has two colors. So you have a bit of purple and you have a bit of silver. So there's this dynamic, which is when you walk, it looks quite bold and funky, but quite simple. So the sole is very simple. And because this course is sponsored by Vibram, I thought I'm going to use one of the existing Vibram soles. And because this is quite a lifestyle shoe, I looked at the Vibram Golf sole, which is slightly kind of changed different due to these elements, create a little bit more dynamic. But to add a little bit of a sense of humor, you have an eye. So when you walk, you have two eyes at the sole and you can see it, and it's quite bold and funky. So even though the shoe is very simple, it's a little bit bold in an unexpected way. It's a little bit of humor. And my work is a lot about humor. So yeah, that's pretty much it.